So now that I know that Christ was killed for me, I know I have to please my Father. That's the underlying point of John 3:16. That God killed his favorite for me, for me, for me.
They like to claim leadership, they like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really isn't have authority. But they don't really need that authority, they don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah.
That's why I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he made man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
So now that I know that Christ was killed for me, I know I have to please my Father. That's the underlying point of John 3:16. That God killed his favorite for me, for me, for me.
They like to claim leadership, they like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really isn't have authority. But they don't really need that authority, they don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah.
Two more times. Hold on. Mataya, present yourself.
Mataya, ban banyam, ban yashal.
Mataya, ban banyam, ban yashal.
Yaba Hashem Yahshua Brakatah.
Yaba Hashem Yahshua Brakatah. La Yashal. Imagine, which means to stand. Wapa Yahakwadam, which means turn to face the east. We'll say the Lord's Prayer.
Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kadash,
Kadash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malak with Ka,
Malak Uka,
Taba'ah,
Abba,
Watazayaka,
Matzayaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
I.S.U.P.K,
I.S.U.P.K,
Ba'aratiza,
Ba'aratiza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Lathana,
Lathana,
Lakam,
Lakam,
Ka,
Ka,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalakina,
Wasalak now,
Kabawaf now,
Kabawaf now,
Kasalak now,
Kasalak now,
Kabawaf now,
Kabawaf now,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Taba'ai now,
Taba'ai now,
Walasayawam,
Walasayawam,
Abo,
Abo,
Hawashai now,
Hawashai now,
Mayam,
Mayam,
Ra,
Ra,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hamalakwa,
Hamalakwa,
Wa'ala,
Wa'ala,
Watapar,
Watapar,
La Wilami, Amon,
Aman,
In English, our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name,
Thy kingdom come.
thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done.
thy will be done
In earth,
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our
As
debts
we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
Deliver
from evil.
from
evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever. So be it.
So be it. We'll say Hakak the power, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Babakashah,
Babakashah,
Lathana,
Lathana,
Hakak,
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 La'apa'ah,
La'apa'ah,
Kamaka'ah,
Kamaka'ah,
Wakamarawa,
Wakamarawa,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Lataha,
Lataha,
Hamatazariah,
Hamatazariah,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Lahakim,
Lahakim,
Hamathim,
Hamathim,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Hakawa,
Hakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Hatama'ala,
Gashan,
Garshan,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Tawada Amah,
Tawada
In English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
Power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say, bless Israel, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Barakla now,
Rock now,
Wayasha'ala,
Yasha'al,
Wahabayah,
Habayah,
Sapari,
Sapari,
Barak,
Barak,
Rapah,
Rapah,
Magan,
Magan,
Hagan,
Magan,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Tawada Amah,
Tawada Amah,
In English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
Our loved
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So big. We're going to say Psalms 121. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahahaya,
Ahahaya,
Ma'ayah,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'ayin,
Ma'ayin,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shemaiah,
Shemaiah,
Wa'aratiza,
Wa'aratiza,
Ayatan,
Ayatan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Galka,
Al-Yanawam,
Al-Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yalawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamah,
Shawamah,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yah,
Ayah,
Yamyaka,
Yamyaka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashemash,
Ashamash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarah,
Wa'irah,
Balaylah,
Ba'illah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Makara,
Makara,
Yashema,
Yashama,
Afnapaska,
Atnapaska,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashema,
Yashama,
Taza'aka,
Taza'aka,
Wabawa'afka,
Wabawa'afka,
Ma'ita,
Ma'ita,
Wa'awalam,
Wa'awalam,
Tawada Amah.
Tawada
In English, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth
will
thee
not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
And thy coming in.
and thy coming
From
in.
this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. We'll say Psalms 83. Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Adamai Laka,
Adamai Laka,
Al-Takarash,
Al-Takarash,
Wa'al-Tashakwat,
Al-Tashquat,
Al, Kayahana,
Kayahana,
Awayabika,
Awayabika,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahanna Yawan,
Woman Shanayaka,
Shanayaka,
Nasha'awa,
Nasha'awa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Imaka,
Al-Imaka,
Ya'awa Yamwa,
Yahweh Yamwa,
Sawat,
Sawat,
What you think your itis are what?
What you think your itis are what?
I'll toss up a 1 year cup.
I'll toss up a 1 year cup.
Amaru.
Lakawa.
Wanna cocky.
Magalia.
Wala Yazaka. Shum ya Sha'ala. What Iwa. Kaya. Now what itis are what? La. Yakawa. Al Yaka. Baya. Yakarathwa. Ahaya. Adawam. Wayashama Alya. Mawa'aba. Wahagaya. Gabal. Wa'amawan. Wa'amalat. Palasha. Anishabya. Tazawal. Gum Ashawa. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zabawai. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamadyan. Kasar Sarai. Kayabi. Banakar. Kayashwan. Nashamawa. Ba'ayan Ira. Hayawa. Damam. La'adama. Shayatamwa. Nadayamwa. Kaira. Wakaza Abba. Wakaza Bak. Wakaza Zalmanai. Kanasaya Kamwa. Asha. Amaru. Narasha. Nayarasha. Lanawa. Ath. Nawa. Alahayim. Shayatamwa. Kagalgala. Kakwash. Lapanya Rakwa. Ka'ash. Taba'ira Ya'ira. Wakala Haba. Talahat. Haryam. Khan. Daradakma. Basa Irika. Basa Wapaka. Tabahalam. Mala'ah. Panyaham. Kualawam. Wayabakwashra. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashra. Wayabahawa. Wa'ayai. Wayakapara. Wayabadwa. Wayadaiwa. Kaya. Ata. Shamka. Yahawa. Labaka. Ayawam. Al-Karatazar. The water Alma.
In English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
peace.
And be not still. O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo. Thy enemies make a tumult.
And
they that hate thee.
Have
lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said. Come. Let us cut them off. From being a nation. In the name of Israel. Maybe no more remembrance. For they have consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And Ishmaelites. Moab. Hagarim. The Ball and Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brick of Kishon. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like a red. And like Zed. Yea. All their princes. As Zabah. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves. The houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high. Over all the earth. So be it.
Saw, which means to turn. Yeshavim, which means to be seated.
up here, Yeshabim, which means to be seated. We're going to continue on where we left off last week. We're going to first get in Hebrew, and we're going to start at Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 1. Slack, yeah. Let me get there. Ezra chapter 3. This is Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. Wa ya ga'ai hakadash hashab ya'aya wa bunya yasha'ala ba'ira yum wa ya asapwa ha'aim ka ayash akad al yara wa shalom. Verse 2. Wa ya kwam ya shawa'ai ban yawa tazadak wa akaya wa akya slakya wa akya wa hakahanyam was a rob ball ban sha'al thaya'al wa akya wa ya banwa ath mazabak ahalya yasha'ala la ha'al watha al yawa al watha kakath wa ba bath wa ratha shama ayash ha'alahayim. Verse 3. Wayak yanawa ha mazabak al makah wa natha yawa kaya ba'a yama al yaham ma'aima ha'arat zawath wa ya'al al yawa al watha la yahawa al watha la bakwar wa la'ai rabah. Verse 4. Wa ya aishawa af kaga ha sakawath kakath waba wa al tha yawam bayawam bama sapar kamash kama shapat dabar yawam bayawamwa. Verse 5. Wa ak raya kana al thamayad wala kadashium wala cow mawa idea Yahweh hama kadashium wala cow mathun the ba not a ba la Yahweh. Verse 6. Mayawam akad la kadash ha shabai ya'aya ha kalawa laha alawath la Yahweh waha yakal Yahweh la'ah yasad. Verse 7. Waya thunwa kasap laka tazabayam wa lak rashawa slakya wala Karashim. Wama akal. Wa mashatha. Washa mana. La tazadanyam. Wa la tazarayam. Laha ba'aya. I ya. Ara zayam mana. Ha laban wana al yum. Yapa wa'a ka rashaya yawan. Waka slakya ka rawash malak paras parasa al yahum. We're going to continue on in the English. Ezra chapter 3, 1 through 7.
Come on. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 3, verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem. Verse 2. Then stood up Joshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and build the altar of the God of Israel, to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, and in the law of Moses, the man of God. Verse 3. And they said, and they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries. And they offered burnt offerings thereon unto the Lord, even burnt offerings morning and evening. Verse 4. They kept also the feast of tabernacles, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required. Verse 5. And afterward offered the continual burnt offering, both of the new moons, and all of the set feasts of the Lord that there were consecrated, and of every one that willingly offered a free will offering unto the Lord. Verse 6. From the first day of the 7th month began they to offer burnt offerings unto the Lord. But the foundation of the temple of the Lord was not yet laid. Verse 7. They gave money also unto the masons, and to the carpenters, and meat, and drink, and oil unto them of Zidon, and to them of Tyre, to bring cedar trees to Lebanon, to the sea of Joppa, according to the grant that they had, of Cyrus, king of Persia.
See, this right here tells you Most High Christ. This right here shows you that we did do business with the heathens. You know what I'm saying? Try and do business with your brothers first. And if your brothers doesn't have what type of particular goods or service that you need, I would say create them. and if that doesn't work, then we can go to the heathen. But it's not unlawful to go to the heathen. But try and get with your brother first. We're gonna continue on in Ezra. This is Ezra chapter 3, 8 through 13, and then 4 and 1. I'm gonna kick it off. Verse 8. Wa bashana ha shan yatha laba wa ama al
Slakia. Is that yeah. Al. Bayath. Ha-alahayim. Laya Rashalom. Bakadash. Ha-hashanya. La Slakia. Ha-kalwa. Zarab. Bala. Bun. Sha'al. Sha'al Thayah. Al. Waya Shawa'ai. Waya Shawa'ai. Bun. Yawa Tazadak. Wa Sha'ar. Aka Yaham. Hakahanyam. Waha Lawayam. Wakal. Ba'ayam. Maha Shabya. Yara Washalam. Waya I'm Yadwa. Ath. Halawayam. Mabun. Isharyam. Shana. Ma'ila. Lana Tazaka. Al. Mala'akath. Bayath. Yahweh. Verse 9. Waya Imad. Ya Shawa'ai. Banya wa. Wa'akyawa. Ka Kwadam Ya'al. Wa Banya. Yahawada. Ka Akkad. La na Tazaka. Slaki. La na Tazak. Al. Aisha. Hama La'aka. Babayath. Ha-alahayim. Banya. Ka Nadada. Ban Yaham. Wa'ak Yaham. Lawayam. Verse 10. Waya Sadwa. Habanyam. Ath. Hayakal. Yahweh. Waya I'm Yadawa. Waya I'm Yadwa. Hakahanyam. Malabashim. Tazar Wath. Waha Lawayam. Banya Asap. Bama Tazalath. Tazalathayam. Lahala La. Ath Yahweh. Al Yadia. Dawayad Malak Yasha'ala. Verse 11. Waya Ainwa. Baha Lala. Wa Baha Wadath. La Yahweh. Kaya. Tawab. Kaya. La'ai Walam. Kasadwa. Al. Yasha'ala. Wakal. Ha'aim. Haraya Iwa. Tharaiha. Gada Wallah. Baha Lala. La Yahweh. Al. Hawasad. Bayath. Yahweh. Verse 12. Rabwa. Slakia. Rabayam. Ha-kahanyam. Waha Lawayam. Waya Rayasha. Ha Bawath. Hazak Nayam. Ashar. Ra'awa. Ath. Habayath. Ra'ashawan. Basa. Salakia. Yeah. Baya Sadwa. Zaha. Habayath. Ba'ai Yana Yaham. Bakayim. Nah, it's Bakayim. Ba Kwawal. Lagadawal. Slack Gadawal. Wa Rabayim. Ba Farah Wa'aya. Ba Shamaka. Laha Rayam. Kwawal. Verse 13. Wa'ayan. Ha'im. Maka Rayam. Kwawal. Thara Wa'itha. Ha Mashaka. Ha Shamaka. Wa Kwawal. Bakaya. Ha'im. Kaya. Ha'im. Maraya Ayam. Thara'aya. Gada Wala. Waha Kwawal. Nashama'ai. I. Lama Rakau Wak. Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Waya Shama'aiwa. Tazariah. Tazaria. Yahawada. Wabun Yamana. Kaya. Bunya. Hagawala. Bawanyam. Hayakal. La Yahweh. Al-Yaha. Yasha'Allah. We're going to continue on in English, Ezra 3, 8-13, and Ezra 4 and 1. Khan. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 3, verse 8. Now in the second year of their coming onto the house of God at Jerusalem, in the second month, began Zerubbabel, and the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests, and the Levites, and all they that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem, and appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forward the work of the house of the Lord. Verse 9. Then stood Joshua with his sons and his brethren, Kadmiel and his sons, the sons of Judah, together to set forward the workmen in the house of God, the sons of Hananiah with their sons and brethren, the Levites. Verse 10. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the son of Asaph, with cymbals to praise the Lord after the ordinance of King David of Israel. Verse 11. And they sang together by course in praising the giving thanks unto the Lord, because he is good, for his mercy endureth forever towards Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. Verse 12. But many of the priests and Levites and the chief of the fathers, who were ancient men that had seen the first house, when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, wept a loud voice, and many shouted aloud for joy. Verse 13, so that the people could not discern the noise of the shout of joy from the noise of the weeping of the people. For the people shouted with a loud shout, and the noise was heard afar off. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 1. Now, when the advisories of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto the Lord of God, unto the Lord God of Israel.
We're going to continue on. Second is Ezra, chapter 4, 2 and 8. 2 through 8. The water. Where are we at? 2. Okay. Verse 2. Where Gashua. Where Gashua. Al. Zarabah. Bal. Wa'al. Ra'ashia. Ha'ab Watha. Waya Amarwa. Laham. Na Bana. I'm a come. Kaya ka come. Nada rawash. La alahaya come. Wala anak no wa. Zabakium. Maya. Asar. Here's your stuff. Asar. Kadan. Malak. Ashawar. Hama'ila. Ath Nawa. Paha. Verse 3. Waya Amar. Laham. Zarabal. Wayasha wa'ai. Sha'ar. Ra'ashia. Ha'abawath. La Yasha'ala. La'a. Malak. Slakia. Lakam. Walanwa. Laban Watha. Bayath. La Alahai. Yanawa. Kaya. Anak Nawa. Yakad. Na Bana. La Yahawa. Alahaya. Yasha'ala. Ka Ashar. Tazawanwa. Ha Malak. Ka Warash. Malak. Parash. Slakia. Paras. Parasa. Verse 4. Wayahaya. I'm Ha'arataza. Marapayam. Yadya. I'm Yahawada. Wama Balahayam. Our thumb. Slakia. Laban Watha. Verse 5. What's a karyam? Alahayam. Yoa I tazayam. La hapar. I taza thumb. Kal. Yam ya. Kawarash. Kawarash. Malak. Parasa wa'id. Malak watha. Darayam slacket. Daraya washa. Daraya wash. Malak. Parasa. Verse 6. Waba Malak watha. Akash wara washa.
Ka Latha, Malak Wathawa, Ka Kathabawa, Shatana, Al Yeshabya, Yahawada, Waya Rashalam, verse 7. Waba Yumya, Arathak, Shasha Tha'a, Kathaba, Ba Shalom, Ma Tharadath, Taba'al, Washa'ar, Thanawathwa, Al, Arathak, Shashatha'a, Malak, Parasa, Waka, Thaba, Hanashath, Wana, Kathawab, Ramayatha, Wamatha Ragam, Ramayatha. Verse 8. Rama, Ba'al, Ta'im, Washam, Washam, Shaya, Sapara'a, Kathabawa, Agara, Kada, Al, Yerushalayim, La'a, Rathak, Shashatha'a, Malak'a, Kathan, Ma'a. Verse 9. Adayan. That's it? Okay. We're going to continue on. That was Ezra 4, 2 through 8. Come. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God, as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Ezra Hadadon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. Verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto your God, unto our God, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel. And that's so right in the spirit. Not only are they is he saying to these heathens, to everybody else, that you ain't got nothing to do with our God to build our house, but that goes for our nation as well. We can't look to anybody else to build our nation. We have to build our nation for ourselves. Right. And the only way we can do it is with guidance. This is our guidance right here. Come. Keep going. Come. As King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us. Verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building. Verse 5. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even unto the reign of Darius, the king, to the reign of Darius, king of Persia. And the precept for this is they take crafty counsel against that people. Come. So it goes over and over and over again, just like the 95 and the 93 crime bills, taking crafty counsel to keep us in slavery. And those bills were done 30, almost 40 years ago, and it still takes a hold of our community.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Come. Verse 5. Salaki.
Verse 6.
Yeah, come the water. Verse 6. And he reigned of Asher Ahasuerus in the beginning of his reign. Wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. Verse 7. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Mithra, Meritad, Tabel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia. And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpret in the Syrian tongue. Verse 8. Rehum, the counselor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king in this sort.
We're going to continue on. Ezra 4, 9 through 15. Verse 9. Adayun, Rakawam, Baal, Ta'im, Shun, Shaya, Sapara'ah, Sha'ar, Kana, Wathaha, Wana, Dayanya, Wa'a, Para, Sathak, Ya'a, Rapal Ya'a, Para, Saya, Saya'a, Arak, Waya, Babal Ya'a, Shawa Shah Nayakya Daha Wa'a Al Maya'a. Verse 10. Washa'ar Ama Maya'a the Ya Hagalia a son Asana Par Raba'a Waya Wayak Yara'a Waha Wathab Hamawa Bakwar Ya the Ya Shamayaryan Washa'ar Ibar Hanara Waka I Natha. Verse 11. Dana Para Shagun Agaratha'a Daya Shalakwa Al Wahaya Al Rathak Shasha Tha'a Malak Ibad Yaka Anash Ibar Ibar Naha Ra'a Ka Wa'ai Natha. Verse 12. Yad Ya'ai Laha Wa'a Lama La Malak the Ya Yahawada Ya'a the Ya Salakwa Mana Lowa Wathak Al Yana'a Athwa Laya Rashalam Kwaya
Ratha'a, Maya Slakia, Mara Datha'a, Waba'a, Yashatha'a, Banyan, Washah, Waraya, Shakal, Lawa, Wa'ash, Yak, Yatawa. Verse 13. Slakia, Ka'ain. Yad Ya'ai, Laha Wa'a, Lamalaka, Daya, Hana, Kwa Yatha'a, Kada, Thatha Bana'a, Washa, Wara Ya'a, Yashathak, Lashathak, Lalawan, Manada, Bawa, Waha, Halak, La'a, Yanathan, Wana, Apatham, Malakiam, Thahan, Lahan, Zakwa. Verse 14. Kana'ain, Kal, Quabal, the Ya, Malak, Haya Kal, Malak Na'a, Wa'ai Rawath, Malak La'a, Arayak, Lana'a, Lamak, Za'a, Al, Dana, Shalak Na'a, Waha, Wada'ai Na, Slakia, Lamalak, verse 15. The Ya, Bakwar, Sapar, the Da, Karan Ya'a, the Ya, Abba Hak, Slakia, Abba Hathak, Waha, Slakia, Wa, Shakath, Shakat, Basapar, Da Karan Ya'a, Wathan, the I, the Ya, Quara Yatha, the Ka, Quara Ya, Mara Rada'a, Marad, Wama, Rama, Hana, Zak, Zakwath, Malakian, Wamadanna, Wa'a, Shadath, Slakia, Wa'a, Shath, the War, Ibadyan, Bagawa, Mana, Ya, Wamath, Al, Ma'a, Al, Dana, Quaraya, Tha'a, Daka, Ha, Rabath. We're going to continue on. Is that Ezra 4, 9 through 15.
Come on. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 9. Then wrote Rehum, the counselor, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their companions, the Danites, the Apharsothites, Apharsites, the Tarpelites, the Aphrasites, the Archavites, the Babylonians, the Susankites, Susacintes, the Hivites, and the Amalekites. Verse 10, the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asnapper brought over and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest that are on the side of the river, and at such a time. Verse 11, this is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes the king, thy servants the men on this side the river, and at such a time. Verse 12, be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundations. Verse 13, be it known now unto the king that if the city be builded and the walls set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt endamage the revenue of the king. Verse 14, now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor thereof, therefore have we sent the sacrifice the king, have we sent the certified the king. Verse 15, that search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers, so shalt thou find in the book of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city and hurtful unto kings and providence, and that they have moved sedition within the same of the old time, with the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed.
We'll continue on. Ezra 4:16 through 22. 16, right? Yeah. Verse 16. Waha the I.Yun an anak na lamalak 16. Yeah, I'm reading 16 right there. Okay. The Yahanna Quara Yatha'a the Ka Thatha Ban Washa Rara Yashathak Lala Wana La Quabal the Na Khalak Ba'i Bar Ha it's like a Nahara'a La'a Ayathia Laka. Verse 17. Patha Gama'a Shalak Malak Al Rakawam Baal Ta'im Washam Shaya Sapara'a Washa'ar Kana with a ha wana the Yathaba Yun Basham Basha
Basham Rayan, Washa'ar, Ibar, Nahara, Shalom, Watha'itha, Waka'itha. Verse 18. Nashath, Wakana'a, Daya, Shalak, Thawan, Al Yana'a, Shapa Rash, Slakia, Mapa Rash, Quaraya, Quadamya. Verse 19. Wamanya, Shayam, Ta'im, Wabak, Rawa, Waha, Shakak, Waha, Shakak, Wa, Daya, Kara Rayath, Da, Daka, Mana, Yawamath, Al, Ma'a, Al, Malakyan, Thama, Slakia, Mathan, Sha'a, Wamarad, Wa'ash, Thada, Ra'ash, Thada War, Matha Ibad, Daha, verse 20. Wamalakyan, Thakwaya, Payanya, Hawawa, Al, Yarushalam, Washalatyan, Bakal, Ibar, Hanara, Mada, the wall, Wahalak, Thayahab, La Hawan, verse 21. Ka'ain, Shayamwa, Ta'im, Labat, La'a, Gabar Ya'a, Alak, Wakwa, Rayat, Tha'a, Kada, La'a, Thatha, Bana'a, I, Manaya, Ta'im, I Ma'a, Yatha Sham, verse 22. Verse 22. Was a ha yara yar yana. Hawawa. Shal lawa. Lama I bar. Al dana lama. Yashaga Ka bala'a laha nazaktha malak yana. Continue on in English. Ezra 4:16 through 22. Come. This is the book of Ezra. Salaki. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 16. We certify the king that if this city be built again, and the walls thereof set up by this means, thou shalt have no portion on this side the river. Verse 17. Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum, the counselor, and to Shimshai, the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace, and at such a time. Verse 18. The letter which ye sent unto us hath been plainly read before me. Verse 19. And I commanded, and search hath been made, and it is found that this city of old time have made insurrection against kings, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein. Verse 20. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and toll, tribute, and custom was paid unto them. Verse 20, verse 21. Give ye now commandment to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not builded unto another commandment shall be given from me. Salaki, until another commandment shall be given from me. Verse 22. Take heed now that ye fail not to do this. Why should damage grow to the hurt of the kings?
We're going to continue on in Hebrew. Is Ezra's 4, 23 to 25, and then Ezra's 5, 1 through 5. Is verse 23. Adayan Mana Daya Pa Parash Gana Nasha Tha Wana'a Daya Arathak Shashatha Malak Ra Slakia Quaraya Quadum Ra Quama Ra Quama Wa Sham Shaya Sa Para'a Wa Kun Wa Thaha Wana Zalawa Babaha Ya wall Slakia Babaha Ya Lawa La Yerushalayim Al Yahweh the Ya Wabatalwa Hamwa Ba'a the Ra'ai Waka Wayak Slakia Waka Yal. Verse 24. Ba Adun Adayan Bata Latha Bayad Abaya Datha Bayath Alahaya Slakia Alaha Al Ha the Ya by Yerushalayim Waha Watha Ba to La'ah Ide Shanatha Tharatha Yana Lama Lak Watha Daraya Washa Malak Parasa. Ezra's 5 and 1. Waha the Na Baya Kagaya Na Baya Wazak Raya Bara Ido Wa'a Naba Ya'a Al Yahweh the Ya the Ya Ba Yahawad Wa Ba Yerushalayim Basham Allah Yasha Allah Al Yaha Wana. Verse 2. Ba the Yun Kwamwa Zara Babal Bara Sha'alath Ya'al Wayashwa'ai Bara Yara Slakia Yawa Tazadak Washa Rayawa
Lawa Bana'a Bayath Ala Al Laha Daya Baya Rashalam Wa I Mahawan Naba Ya'a Daya Al Yaha Al Ha'a Masa Id Yana Lahawan. Verse 3. Baha Zamana'a Atha'a Al Yahawan Thathanya Pakath Ibar Hanara Washa Washathar Bawazanya Wakan Wathaha Wana Wakan Amar Yana Laham Mana Chum Lakam Ta'im Bayatha'a Dana Laba La Bana'a Wa'a Shar Na'a Dana La Shak La. Verse 4. Adayan Kana Ma'a Amarana Ra Na'a Laham Mana Anawan Shamahath Gabara Ya'a Daya Dana Bana Ban Yana'a Banyan. Verse 5. Wa'ayan Alaha Hum Wa Hawath Al Shabya Yahweh Wada Ya'a Wala'a Bata Lawa Hamwa Id to Ma'a La Da Raya Washa Yahak Wa Adayan Yatha Yabawan Nasha Thawa Na'a Al Dana. All right, let's continue on. Read that in the English. Ezra 4:23-25 and Ezra 5:1-5.
Khan. This is the book of Ezra.
One second. Mm-hmm. Yes, you.
I had a question. Forgive me if you all talked about it before.
No problem.
But I'm confused. If Cyrus, the king of Persia, was so excited about Jerusalem building up, Jeremiah talked to him and everything, and he said, "Okay, y'all can do." So I guess two questions. Why didn't Israel leave? And then if they are there, then why didn't he give them? I guess I'm just thinking, why didn't he give them, write it like some kind of decree or something to say that they could do what they're doing, so that 3 kings later they don't come and pull this on them,
Okay, so first they're in their land. They're building, a temple for the Most High. They're working with the other nations for the materials. And as they're working with these other nations, the people that are in the other nations that are in our midst, they wrote back to the king saying, talking crap, basically, and they believed their emissaries, so that's why they're saying.
So is Israel captives in this time, or is it?
I'm gonna have to get back to you. Okay. I'm gonna have to get back to you. I'm gonna have to get back to you. These past couple of chapters, we've been in captivity and out of captivity and going back in. It's just been back and forth. Right now, I'm not 100% sure, so I'll get back to you. But as far as that, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Basically, they're just talking crap about us. They wrote back to the king and they said, these people are doing this and that. You have
stop. Did it have anything to do when they wanted to be with us as far as worshiping our God? And it was like, nah, y'all ain't got nothing to do with us.
I don't think it was. No, they weren't trying to be with us and worshiping them. They wanted to build, take some glory in building what we're doing.
Come.
They always want to do stuff what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Come.
And that's why they wrote back to their king.
So it was kind of like they got their feelings hurt.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
And then they was doing all,
okay. Exactly. They seen us being Israel doing fly stuff, and they wanted to be on this side. It was like, nah, you can't do this. You can't dance. Right. You can't sing. You can't cook. Just go over there. And then it was like, oh, they talking crap about you, king. They say you can't do this, you can't do that. We said nothing of the sort. you got something?
They wanted to come to the cookout.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to come to the cookout, and we said no raisins in the potato salad. Yeah. And they got their feelings hurt.
No raisins.
Let's keep going.
Come. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 23. Now, when the copy of King,
we got doing this. When that starts happening. You know what that's all about. Keep going, slack.
Come. Now, when the copy of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before Rehum and Shimshai, the scribe, and their companies, they went up in haste to Jerusalem unto the Jews, and made them to cease by force and power. Verse 24. Then ceased the work of the house of God, which is at Jerusalem, to cease it to Salaki, so it ceased unto the second year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Then the prophets Haggai, the prophet, and Zechariah, the son Zechariah, the son of Iddo, prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel, even unto them. Verse 2. Then rose up Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and began to build the house of God, which is at Jerusalem. And with them were the prophets of God helping them. Verse 3. At the same time came to them Tatnai, governor on this side the river, and Shether Boznai, and their companies, companions, Salaki, keep saying companies, and companions, and said thus unto them, whose hath commanded you to build this house and to make up this wall? Verse 4. Then said we unto them after this manner, what are the names of the men that make this building? Verse 5. But the eye of their God was upon the elders of the Jews, that they could not cause them to cease till the matter came to Darius. And then they returned answer by letter concerning this matter.
We're going to continue on the last part, Ezra 5, 6 through 12. Rash Gun Gana Garatha the Ya Shalak Yanya Pakath Ibar, Nahara, it's like it, Nahara, Shathar, Bawazanya, Wakan, Watha, Aparasak, Ya'a, the Ya, Ba'aibar, Hut, Na Hara, Al, Dara Yesh Slakia, Dara Yawash, Malaka'a, verse 7, Patha Gama'a, Shalakwa, Al Wahan, Slakia, Al Wahaya, what could the na ka the yab gabo wa la the ra wash malaka'a shalama'a kala'a, verse 8, yad ya'ai laha wa'a la malaka'a the ya aza la na'a la yaha wad madiya natha'a la labayath alaha raba'a waha wa'a Martha bana'a abun galala I sham the sham Martha sham bakath the la ya'a bayad tha'a kada asab sapar na'a ba slakia Martha I bad wa ma tazalak by ya hum slakia by ya the hum by ya the hum. Verse 9, Adiyanya, Adiyana, Sha'a Lana'a, La Shaba Ya'a, Alak, Kana Ma'a, Amar Rana'a, Laham, Mana, Sham, Lakam, Ta'im, Bayatha'a, Dana, Lama Banaya, Wa'a Shara Na'a, Dana, La Shak, La verse 10, Wa'ap, Shanaha, Thahum, Sha'a, La Na'a, Lahum, Laha, Wada'ai, Wathak, the Ya, Naka, Nakathav, Sham, Gabara, Ya'a, the Ya, Bara'ash Yaham, verse 11, Kawana Ma'a, Pathagama'a, Hathayab, wa na'a, lama mara, anak na'a, hamawa, ibad, wahaya, daya, Allah, sham ya'a, wa'a ra'ai, ba, slakia, wa bunyan, bayatha'a. the ya hawa bana ma quad da math the na shanyam shaga ya an wamalak la yasha'ala rabba banahawa Slakia banahaya washak laha washak la verse 12 lahan mana the ya hara hara gazawa abahath na la sham ya yahab hamawa bayad naba waka dana tazar malak babal kasad ya'a wa bayatha dana sathara wa I ma hagalaya la babal. That's it. Let's close that out. Ezra 5, 6 through 12.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 5, verse 6. The copy of the letter that Tatnai, governor on this side the river, and Shethra Boznai and his companions, the Aphrasites, which were on this side the river, sent on to Darius the king. Verse 7.
I said that wrong. It's Aphrasites.
The Aphrasites, which were on this side this river, sent on to Darius the king. Verse 7. They sent a letter unto him, wherein was written thus: unto Darius the king, all peace. Verse 8. Be it known unto the king that we went into the province of Judea, to the house of the great God, which is builded with great stones, and timber is laid in the walls, and this work goeth fast on, and prosper in their hands. Verse 9.
And they say we're lazy, and we don't know how to work, and we don't know how to... Even when they're telling us not to work, we're working. Come on now.
Salaki, if I may. Is this the Assyrians or them, the Persians, talking about us building our temples?
No. Yeah. This is Assyrians. Yeah.
And
yeah.
they talking about us.
They're talking about us. Yeah.
Building our temples.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the governor that the king appointed in Judea, and he sent a letter back to the king of Persia, Darius, and this is what he's saying. So it is them talking about us.
Verse 8, Salaki, verse 9. Then asked we those elders, and said unto them thus: who commanded you to build this house and to make up these walls? Verse 10. We asked their names also to certify thee, that we might write the names of the men that were the chief of them. Verse 11. And thus they returned us, answering, saying, we are the servants of the God of heaven and earth, and build the house that was builded these many years ago, which a great king of Israel builded and set up.
Verse 12. But after that, our fathers have provoked the God of heaven unto wrath. He gave them into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, the Chaldean, who destroyed this house and carried the people away into Babylon.
So now they're giving the answer of who done it, and basically they're saying we all done it. The Most High told us to do it. So you got a problem, just like we say in the corners. That's what we're about to say in the corners right now. You got a problem, you need to take it up with the Most High. Anybody else have anything before we close it out?
It's just the fact that they, when they ain't get their way, they try to make it hard, just like the Pharaoh did with, with us in Egypt. Then after that, we still built it anyway, you know what I mean? With less materials than they thought, and by hand. And then they still like, man, who did this? They got a problem. They writing back to the king. They be hating.
Yeah. They sure do be hating. What we can't hate on is the sisters who bringing in these foods. And with that, men up here, I imagine, which means to stand. If you could.
Lord, y'all shalom.
Imagine, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakudam, which means turn to face the east. We'll say the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakukah, Taba'ah, Batazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, the thunder now, the come, Kyle, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kabawaf now, Kasalak now, Kabawaf now, Wala'ah, Taba'ah now, Banasayawam, Abo, Hawashai now, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'alam, Wahatapar, La Walamim, Amam.
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, Lord, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
As
it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not.
And lead us not into temptation.
Deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil. For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory. Forever.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say, Hakak the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Baba Kashah. The thunder now. Hakak. Hakak. La Pa'ah. Kal Maka'ah. Wakal Madawa. Hakak. La Tahar. Hamatazariah. Hakak. La Hakim. Hamathian. Hakak. Al Kawa. Hatama'ala. Bagashan. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. The Wada Amah.
In English,
Yahweh.
Your name is Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say, bless Israel, Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Barak now. Yahweh Yashahala. Well, Yashalam, Wahabaya, Saparian, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Hagan, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the Wada Amah.
In English, Yahweh.
Your name is Yahweh Shai. Bless us.
And Israel.
And the school.
Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. I love one. In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Your name is Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
So be it. We're going to say Psalms 121. Asha'a,
Asha'a,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahahaya,
Ahahaya,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'a,
Yaba'a,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'ai,
Ma'ai,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shemaiah,
Shemaiah,
Wa'arataza,
Wa'arataza,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Regalka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shemarka,
Shemarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawama,
Shalama,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shemarka,
Shemarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yah,
Al-Yah,
Yamyaka,
Yamlika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashemash,
Hashemash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makara,
Makara,
Yashama,
Yashama,
Athnapashka,
Athnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashama,
Yashama,
Tazaatka,
Tazaatka,
Wabawaatka,
Wabawaatka,
Maita,
Maita,
Right Awalam,
Wa'awalam,
Tawada Aman.
Dawada
In English, I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help comes from Yahweh.
My help coming from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel.
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
Nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. We'll say Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damai Laka.
Al-Damai Laka.
Al-Takarash.
Al-Takarash.
Al-Tashakwat.
Al-Tashakwat.
Al. Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Al-Yabyaka.
Al-Yabika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahanna Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Nasha'awa.
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Aimaka.
Al-Aimaka.
Ya'awa Yamwa.
Yahweh Yahweh.
Sawab.
Sawab.
Wayataya Aitazawa.
Wayataya Aitazawa.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Al-Tazapawanyaka.
Amara.
Amara.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magaya.
Magaya.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazaka.
Yazaka.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Aywa.
Aywa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa Aitazawa.
Nawa Aitazawa.
La.
La.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Barya.
Barya.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahalya.
Ahalya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashama'alya.
Wayashama'alya.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagariya.
Wahagariya.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'imawan.
Wa'amawan.
Wa'imalak.
Wa'amalak.
Palashah.
Palashah.
Amyashabya.
Amyashabya.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gam Ashawar.
Gamashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Aimam.
Aimam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zawawai.
Zawawai.
Labanyalawat.
Labanyalawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aishalaham.
Aishalaham.
Kamadya.
Kamadya.
Kasar Sara'ai.
Kasai Sarai.
Kayabya.
Kayabya.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Kayashwan.
Yashua.
Nashamawa.
Nashamaru.
Ba'ayanda Ira.
Ba'ayanda Ira.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Dama.
Dama.
La'adama.
La'adama.
Shayatamwa.
Shaitamwa.
Nadiyamawa.
Nadiyabu.
Kaira.
Kaira.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Ba.
Wakaza Ba.
Wakaza Zamana.
Wakaza Zamana.
Kana Sayakamwa.
Kaya Sai Kamwa.
Asha.
Asha.
Amara.
Amara.
Nayasha. Nayarasha.
Nayarasha.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Ath. Nawa.
Nawa.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alhaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatamwa.
Shaitamwa.
Kagalgala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Kwa.
Lapanya Rakwa.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Taba'aya Yaira.
Dabaya Ira.
Wakala Haba.
Wakala Haba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Hayam.
Hayam.
Khan.
Khan.
Taradatma.
Taradatma.
Basa Iraka.
Basa Ira.
Wabasa Wapathka.
Wabasa Wapathka.
Tabahalam.
Nabahalam.
Mala'a. Payaham.
Payaham.
Kwalawan.
Kwalawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahalya.
Wayabahaya.
Ayai.
Ayai.
Wayakapara.
Wayakapara.
Wayabawa.
Wayabawa.
Wayadaiwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Ata. Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labaka.
Labaka.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Al-Karatazah.
Al-Karatazah.
Tawada Aman.
Tawada Aman. In English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo.
Thy
Thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have
have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
against our people.
Against our people.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
They have said, come,
let
us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
So they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
The Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal and Ammon.
And
Amalek. The Philistines.
The Philistines.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher is also joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have opened the children a lot.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kishar.
At the brook of Kishar.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
Make their nobles like a red.
And like Zaab.
And like Zaab.
Yea. All their princes. As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The house of Yahweh in possession.
The house of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a stubble before the wind.
As the fire burning the wood.
As the fire burned the wood.
And as the flame sets the mountains on fire.
And as the flame sets the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
Oh Yahweh.
Let it be confounded.
Let it be confounded.
In trouble forever.
In trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let it be put to shame.
Let it be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say the blessings. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa Malaka Allah.
Wa Malaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Wataza Bayah. Alawap Yahanna.
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawapim.
Ha Alawapim.
Ha Saranyam.
Ha Saranyam.
Ha Quatazayamyam.
Ha Quatazayamyam.
Ha Ka Salaka. Ha Ka Yawyam. Hasan. Ha Ka Yamyam. Wa Ha Akwathian. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shah. Tawada Aman.
In English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Your name Yahweh Shah.
Your name Yahweh Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We say the curses. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
All things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Your name Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The priests.
The priests.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasures of the rich.
The treasures of the rich.
Of Israel.
Of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And the drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The
prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Posse
Comitatus.
Gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. That's the space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. Cable access channel. And a radio channel. Convict the spirit. Of any of thy people. That seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. But try and stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go. To and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plagues. Take the house of the thief. And the murderer. Let Yahushua.
Let Yahushua.
Michael and Gabriel. Come down with the flying saucer.
Come down with the flying saucer.
And punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen
that come up against us.
that come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known.
Cause it to be known.
By all. That is the angels that have done it.
That is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Throughout
the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Causing
the shake of thy company.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. Saw, which means the turn. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins. Sister, you may be seated. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
We're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imajim, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yah Yamatah, Saul, which means to turn. Sister Imajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yah Shema, Hashem Yahshua. Y'all give me time. Class dismissed.
I didn't know they had chicken burritos or something.